Hey everybody, Hellcrax here, and welcome to another Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 181. And congratulations, we've moved into a new book! Yes, it's the 3055 book, and we're going to start off with the Thunder. Yes, the Thunder. It's that 70-ton mech that thinks it can. I've used this thing a few times, and it's not bad, not great. It has its weaknesses, it has its strengths, and let's just delve into it. Now, the Thunder is 580, doesn't have jump jets. It has XL engines, so right there off the bat is its one weakness. But hey, it has a strength that goes with that weakness. It does have almost, maximum armor on board. So with that in mind, at least it has some protection to keep it alive a little bit longer than seeing it die from a horrible death, losing one of its torsos. It does have 11 double heat sinks, so this thing's running around with some good technology from the Capellan Confederation. The weapon loadout on this thing basically runs cool, so you know, we'll discuss that in a second with those 11 double heat sinks. It has in that right arm AC-20. So this is in your face and one to splatter you up close and personal. Now it's basically you're paying for a slightly faster Hunchback, all right, for 20 more tons. It does have 3 tons of ammo to go with that AC-20. It has case in the left torso. So obviously, that's where all the ammo is going to be, all in the left torso. So I guess if you lose a torso, you might as well lose the left one and not have it totally blow to pieces. You do have an LRM-5 in the left torso. And it does have a ton of ammo to go with it. So that's basically your plinking weapon. And then we have 3 in-close medium pulse lasers in the center torso, left and right torso. So you have one in each section. So basically this is one of those mechs that I've used before. This is one of those mechs that you would prefer to see in a city fight. You know, you get in close, you got a weapon systems on board that, let's ignore the LRM-5 for the moment, because an LRM-5 is nothing more than a plinking weapon. I always look at it, it's like, you fire it, hey, I hit, it's most likely going to do 3 points of damage, and you're just kind of fishing for the big bass out there, and you throw it, go, bloop, and didn't get that crit. Alright, we'll just put 3 points of damage probably. Most likely that's how much damage you're going to do on an average. And you're just kind of whittling away at different sections as you close. If you're in a more of an open area. Now if you're in the city, this mech's a little better than you can jump out and do an ambush. So while you're sitting there waiting, you could always just be doing indirect fire with the LRM-5, just blinking away. And it's like, you hit, you hit. If you don't, it's not like you're losing a lot with it. And if you do hit, it's like, oh, well, here, have 3 points, 4 points, 2 points, 5, however it may work out with a die roll. You're not going to wipe somebody out probably 95% of the time. There's always that one few percent chance that you get a crit. So, it's there. Now, when you get in close within 9 or less, or if you're at 9, then you have that AC-20. And always look at you're putting a massive amount of tonnage into something that's really short range, and you're going to be gambling and hoping that thing's gonna hit, and when you're at that range, hopefully you've hit this mech enough times that it didn't get ripped to pieces while it was closing. Or in the case of a city fight, you can step out and say, here, have an AC-20 to the face and hope that it hits. And it's a mech like this, you're probably wanting to put at least a 3-gunner in it, because you want to have that AC-20 have a better chance of hitting. Now, I understand why they put the medium pulse lasers on board this, because when you step out and you are within 6, then you got those medium pulse lasers to unload with, and you know, at the -2, you got a good chance of hitting with those. You probably, be honest, we're going to do more damage probably with the medium pulse lasers than you're ever going to do with the AC-20, because you're going to have some minuses to hit, you know, with the pulse lasers, because, geez, you know, they're pulse lasers, and unless you have a good gunner, you know, the odds are you're most likely not going to hit with the AC-20. But if you do, hey, and you hit with the medium pulse laser, so much the better. You can just say, all right, I did a bunch of damage, and here's 20-point shot someplace. That's going to be a nice chunk of change, ripping somebody's armor off. I can tell you, if you hit another Thunder with an AC-20, most sections are going to lose almost all the armor. So you're looking at 3/4 of the armor in the center torso. If you hit him in a torso, it's almost like 90-some% of the armor's gone. You hit him in the leg, you're looking at 2/3 gone. You know, that's a pretty good number if you hit with it. And then you follow up with those pulse lasers. Oh yeah. So yeah, when you look at the pulse lasers and the AC-20 firing, and you fire the LRM, and then if you run with this thing, hey, net 0. So you're looking at not worrying about heat with this thing. No, that's not bad. They obviously designed this mech with that in mind, and they realized maybe that with XL engines on board, we need armor. And you need armor bad, because if you're facing anything that has some good technology, you're going to lose armor quickly. Now, the Capellans really don't have to worry about facing off against the clans, but you may face off against House Davian troops that have advanced technology, or they may even have some clan mechs, or some clan technology on some of those mechs. So by the time the Thunder hits the marketplace, it may be facing something like that. So you need that armor to help you out. Now, there are some other, actually, for such a mech that has been around for a short period of time, there are variants for it. There's 3. We got the 2L. This one upgrades the design with the latest technology, a highly destructive close combat mech. So they flip-flop the AC-20 for an LBX-20. Makes sense. So then you have, you know, you already have 3 tons of ammo for it. So you probably, with this, you're going to have probably 2 solid, maybe 1 ton of shot. So if somebody you're looking at a mech that is already shot to heck, and you got a whole bunch of open spots, throw the AC 20 cluster at them and go crit hunting galore. Not to mention you're going to have a better chance of hitting with it anyway. Alright, then it has 2 ER medium lasers, a ER small laser, and the LRM-5 has been dropped in favor of Streak 6 launcher. Okay, so if you're going to be fighting in close, you might they're kind of basically swapping around, making this an extremely short-range city fighter. And in addition to it, it does have stealth armor, making it harder to hit, and it has triple strength armor. So you hit this thing up, or heat it up, that is, and you're looking at something that will be punching somebody in the face or kicking. You know, you look at it that way. You hit them hard, rip a bunch of stuff off, and then you kick or punch. You know, obviously, you're not going to be punching with the one arm, because you have that AC or the 20 LBX in there. So there is that. So it is a extremely short range weapon system. So you're looking at the farthest that shoots out on this thing is 12. So that is definitely falls under the category for a 70-ton mech that is a city fighter. 100%. Don't try to take this thing out into an open battlefield. It's like you look over there, hey, is that the one with all the short range weapon on it? Yeah, here, let me shoot it and take a torso out. We'll just take it down real quick because we don't want it getting anywhere near us with that triple strength armor. And then we got the 3L. The 3L variant of the Thunder is intended for artillery support. Alright, so we dropped the AC-20 in favor of Arrow 4 artillery missile launcher. That could be really good. Then you're looking at 2 ER medium lasers, a Streak 6. So it's basically the 2L that's been swapping out its weapon systems. And it still has the triple strength on board. And it still has the stealth armor. So you're looking at something that if you had, let's say you had one of these in the Lance and you got a couple other Thunders in the Lance. So let's just go with a Lance of 4 of them. And one of them is this variant. This might work out pretty good because you're now blasting large chunks in the area using the artillery. Not bad. And then when something does get it close, then you just hammer them with the Streak and the 2 ER medium lasers and then kick them. But you're still running around with something with XL engines, so there's that. Then there's the 4C. This replaces the heavy autocannon for the Thunder 20 missile launcher. So you got an LRM-20. So this is another fire. Basically, you got something that shoots out of range. Obviously, you're not going to need the LRM-5. You're just like, hey, LRM-5 now becomes a 20 launcher. All right, that's not bad. And then you got 3 ER medium lasers, and then a medium pulse laser, and the XL engine has been downgraded to a, now it's a 460, or no, it's not a 460, I'm sorry. It's a 464 with improved jump jets. So that means it's mobile. So you're looking at something that can get around decently in a city fight or actually on an open battlefield. Still slow, but it is built on Indo-steel chassis, so you got some savings there. It does have the armor, and it is protected by case 2. So it's not a bad version, even though it's slower and running around with, it still has the XLs, but you can't have everything. And we're getting into that era where almost every single mech that the Inner Sphere is putting out has XL engines on board. Because, hey, that's the thing you do now. It's like you got to put as much weapons on board your mech because the life expectancy, especially if you're facing on clans, is very short. So they got into that mentality of we'll put as much weapons on, fire as fast as we can, heat up, and die. Now, fire and forget. That's basically kind of the thought process that's going on here. So that's kind of what you're looking at when it comes to the Thunder. Now, if by chance you picked one up off the battlefield, let's say you're running around in your house davvying or something of that nature, and you say, hey, I just got one from the Capellans. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. This did happen in our last campaign. What are you going to do? Well, say, hey, we got this Gauss rifle here. What they did was they immediately took out the AC-20 and put a Gauss rifle on it with a couple tons of ammo. And it has replaced it with 3 ER medium lasers, and it still has the LRM-5. So it's still a 5.8 with the double heatsink. So basically, all they did was this converted from a AC-20 to a Gauss rifle, and then you turn it into a longer range weapon system platform. And you do have the option of going with what do you call it, if you by chance had access to a C3, you could put a C3 on board, or more heat sinks, or whatever you want to do. Not that it needs the heat sinks, because this thing is running around with what, 17, 18. You can go with 10 heat sinks, and possibly even go with a light fusion engine, drop it down from an XL to a light fusion engine, and still keep it a 5.8. Now you could, if you had the what do you call it, the, let's just see what happens here. If you still had it XL, you could put you could make it a 5.85 with jump jets, still leaving it with the 11 heat sinks, and you could turn around and have it Gauss rifle, 3 ER medium lasers, an LRM-5, and a C3 slave, and it's still a 5.85. So that's something you can do. So that is some options that if you had a Thunder, and that's what we kind of did with the last campaign that we played. And hope you guys liked this one. It's kind of a short, but short and sweet. The Thunder is sort of interesting. It's a new one, 3055. And we'll kick it off here, and we'll talk to you later. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Hellcraigs out.